Okay, warning. This is going to be a very special episode of Phenomenal Knobs. Do you remember when you were a kid and you watched, like, there'd be like a very special episode of Different Strokes and it would be about something awful like suicide, or like, I wanted to laugh and now I'm sad. I'm having a day and I thought this book and this recipe were appropriate, and I just want to cook through the emo-ness for you and for me, and so let's get started. So today I'm going to focus on a book that inspired me, and it's Eat, Pray, Love. It is a book that makes you think about your place in life and who you really are. It's a woman who journeys through 3 different countries, and in each country she learns something different about herself. And that's actually something that I've been doing a lot personally lately. And so I thought I really wanted to do that book, and I really want you to read that book, and I really wanted to cook something that is inspired by that book. That's slow, simple, takes some time, but that really makes a difference in your taste buds. And that is polenta with a shredded tomato beef sauce. It's going to be amazing because it warms their heart and fills their stomach, and what more can you ask for? This is something that takes time, but it's still really simple. So it's something that you need to kind of let sit and ruminate and brew and meld those flavors together. Much like we as human beings, we need time. And I think I've learned over the years that me that I'm seeking, that I think, who am I going to be? Who am I? It changes every day. So for now, I'm going to make something that tastes good and that is truly me. And this is a dish that could evolve. You could change it and add things that are more you, and I hope that you will and make it yours. First thing I need to do, I have some meat that has been thawing that I had in my freezer. So these are steaks that we bought. I bought 4 of them, and we ate 2 and didn't really care for, they were a little bit tough, a little bit, you know, just not that high quality steak that we like. So I thought, you know what, the other 2, I'm going to freeze them and I'm going to use them in a crock pot dish, because the crock pot brings out those amazing flavors and brings out the fat, and it cooks it in all day, and it really elevates the cheapest cut of meat. So whether or not you're using steak, you could use a pot roast, you could use sirloin, whatever's the cheapest cut of beef you can find. You just want to trim up a lot of fat off of it because you don't want too much of that in your dish. But I'm going to take these steaks and I'm going to put them to good use. I'm just going to trim them out, trim it off the bone. I'm going to cut the meat into big chunks. Polenta is one of those things. It was created as a peasant dish. It's really simple. It's broth and it's cornmeal, and it's just amazingly simple, but really, really filling and hearty and good. And it's something that was once, like I said, a peasant dish, but now has become this gourmet thing in Italian cooking that a lot of the high-end restaurants serve alongside their most serve with their most amazing creations. So it can really be something that's simple and yet that really has like this great presence in your meal, because people will be amazed at the flavor and how good it is. I'm going to turn my crock pot on high, and I'm going to add that beef.
Add some olive oil to a pan, chop up a small onion, and saute until just when it starts to turn brown. Add the onions to the crock pot.
I'm going to add in 1 can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to add some basil. And listen, I kill things. My name is Gretchen. I don't have a green thumb. I have a black thumb. I have a purple thumb. Anything but green. So I buy frozen basil cubes. I love basil. I put 5 of these, which is equivalent to 5 teaspoons of fresh chopped basil. I'm also going to add some garlic. I'm just going to put a few tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, which balsamic vinegar is just wine and vinegar that's been molded and aged, and it tastes so freaking good. And it's got that deep, rich flavor. And I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil just to give it a little extra depth, a little extra flavor, a little bit extra fat. Just a zhuzh, a zhuzh. A zhuzh is a technical term that I use to mean zhuzh. Mix it all up to get the meat all coated. Then you're gonna cover it and leave it. Just let it sit for hours until it falls apart. So when the meat's ready, I'll make the polenta and then we will eat. Pray and love. For my non-meat eaters, you could totally leave out the meat and put all the other ingredients and it will taste so good. You could add in some vegetarian sausage crumbles or something to give it a little extra texture, but really the tomatoes and the onions and the garlic and all that all by itself would be delish.